In the closing years of the 19th century, whispers spread across Europe of a shadowed nobleman from the east. His name was Count Dracula, a figure of mystery, power, and unspeakable fear. Our story begins in 1897, when a young English solicitor named Jonathan Harker traveled east to Transylvania. His journey took him through Carpathian mountains, a land of ancient superstitions and deep forests. At every village, the locals warned him not to continue. They crossed themselves at the mention of the Count's name. But Jonathan dismissed their fears as old-world nonsense, until the night he reached the Borgo Pass. Through the fog emerged a black carriage drawn by 4 dark horses, and a silent driver cloaked in shadow. Hours later, the carriage arrived before an immense crumbling castle on a cliff. There, at the grand doorway, stood Count Dracula himself, tall, courteous, and unnervingly pale. "Welcome to my house," the Count said softly. "Enter freely, and of your own will." Jonathan soon realized the castle had no servants. Only the Count himself moved silently through its halls. By day, Dracula vanished, leaving the castle silent as a tomb. At night, he reappeared polite, eloquent, but with eyes that burned like coals. Soon, Jonathan discovered the truth. He was a prisoner, not a guest. By candlelight, he found a hidden room filled with dusty coffins, and within them, the sleeping Count. Horrified, Jonathan fled through the castle's corridors, pursued by the echo of his own heartbeat. When he awoke, he found himself outside the castle walls, weak and delirious. Weeks later, he returned to England, alive but haunted. The nightmare had followed him home. In London, strange events began to unfold. Ships arriving without crew, animals restless, and people whispering of a foreign nobleman in their midst. Dracula had come to England, to feed, to possess, and to walk among the living once more. In Whitby, a young woman named Lucy Westenra began to suffer strange dreams and unexplained weakness. Her friend Mina Murray, recently engaged to Jonathan Harker, kept a careful diary of Lucy's condition. Each night, Lucy grew paler, as though something drained her life away while she slept. Doctors were puzzled, until Mina called upon an old family friend, Professor Abraham Van Helsing. Van Helsing examined Lucy and saw the signs immediately. 2 small punctures, delicate and deadly. He ordered garlic flowers placed around her room and windows sealed against the night. But Lucy's suitor, not understanding, removed the flowers to let her breathe freely. That night, she was found nearly lifeless, her skin white as paper, her lips crimson. Van Helsing returned too late. Lucy Westenra was dead, or so they believed. But soon after her burial, rumors spread of children found pale and weak, claiming a lady in white visited them at night. Van Helsing and Lucy's fiancé opened her tomb and found it empty. Moments later, Lucy appeared, radiant, lips red, eyes glowing with unholy life. Heartbroken, her fiancé pressed the crucifix to her lips, and the monster fled into the shadows. Van Helsing knew then that the true enemy was Dracula himself, the creature from Transylvania. He gathered a small band of allies, Jonathan, Mina, Dr. Seward, and Arthur Holmwood, to hunt the Count. Meanwhile, Mina herself began to fall under Dracula's influence, visited in her sleep by strange dreams. Jonathan recognized the Count in a London street, unchanged, ageless, moving among crowds unseen. The hunters tracked Dracula to a house in Piccadilly, where crates of Transylvanian earth were hidden. They destroyed his hiding places one by one, forcing him to flee back toward his homeland. But Dracula did not leave alone. He had taken Mina's blood, and her mind was now bound to his. Haunted by her bond with Dracula, Mina became both victim and weapon, her dreams revealing his path home. Van Helsing realized that through her visions, they could track the Count's movements across Europe. The hunters departed England at once, by train, by carriage, and by sheer determination. They carried stakes, crucifixes, holy wafers, and the last hope of humanity's victory over the night. Through the forests of Hungary and the snowfields of the Carpathians they rode, chasing the Count's servants. Each night, Mina grew weaker, her connection to Dracula deepening as he neared his stronghold. Van Helsing and Mina reached Borgo Pass first, guided by her visions through storm and snow. They took refuge in a small chapel near the ruins, where Van Helsing consecrated the ground for protection. That night, in the flicker of moonlight, 3 ghostly women, Dracula's brides, appeared, circling Mina in silence. Van Helsing raised his crucifix, driving them back into the storm, their screams fading into the wind. At dawn, he found their resting place and sealed their tombs forever with holy fire. Meanwhile, Jonathan and the others closed in on Dracula's carriage, racing toward the castle through a blizzard. The sun dipped behind the mountains as they caught sight of the dark fortress ahead. Inside, Dracula's servants prepared his coffin for the coming night. As the hunters arrived, the storm broke in thunder and lightning over the castle walls. They burst into the courtyard as the Count's carriage skidded to a halt, his servants ready to defend their master. Jonathan reached the coffin just as the sun broke through the clouds. Dracula lay within, eyes open in fury. With one strike, the stake plunged through the Count's heart, and silence fell across the mountain. The storm ceased, and the first light of day filled the valley. Dracula was no more. Years later, Mina and Jonathan lived quietly in England. Yet sometimes in her dreams she still saw the castle in the mist. The night has passed, but the legends remain. What secrets do you think still linger in those foggy Transylvanian mountains? Tell us your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to Time Frame Histories for more chilling tales from the past.